Hey guys, Piedmonte89 here again. I'm going to be doing a contest entry into Dafarnakis' 50 sub contest entry. Just want to get right to the point. One of the questions was, how has a firearm helped you? So I'm going to explain, I'm going to tell a story of something that happened to me a long time ago. This is the only time I ever had to use a firearm at all. To defend my house and myself. So this was about, I want to say, 6 or 7 years ago, and these kids tried breaking into the house, and they eventually forced entry into the house. I was 14 years old at the time, and these kids were right around the same age as me. And one of the kids, well, I'll get to him in a second, but the only gun that we had in the house at the time was my father's Remington Nylon 66. Prior to this, my dad had several firearms. I think right before I was born, my mom made him get rid of all of them pretty much, and just like the one that he kept. But the gun was unloaded. I already knew it was unloaded. The safety was on. But the kids had broken into the house, so I ran upstairs. Retrieved this gun, unloaded, and and so they were kind of like raiding the house. They got downstairs to the basement and started trying to steal my dad's alcohol and shit. So I just went down there with the gun and just was like, I'll blow your fucking head off if you don't get the fuck out of my house right now. And so they stopped, they all froze, they put their hands up. I said, put the beer down, put all that shit down, and get the fuck out of my house, And they complied very fast, got out, never gave me any problems after that. There's 3 guys, one of them was actually bigger than me, even though I'm a pretty big guy. He actually had about 3 inches on me. And then he had 2 goons with him, and they're like bullies and stuff, and they were, they gang up on people and pick on them at school, that kind of thing. But once you force entry into the house, it's a whole different ball game altogether. All it did was I opened up the door for one of the guys just to see what he wanted. All of a sudden, all 3 of them pushed the door open, holding them back for a while, and then all of a sudden they just push it open. So they forced entry into the house, and they started trying to vandalize and shit. So I was like, don't think so. So this is the one that we had, and I used it. I wouldn't say it saved my life because it wasn't a life-threatening situation, but they could have caused a lot of harm to the house. And more importantly to me at the time, I was afraid of getting my ass kicked by my dad for not, standing up and defending the house. I've never had really any problems with law enforcement or any encounters with them carrying a gun or a knife or anything like that. And I'm one of those guys that keeps to himself when he's outside. Don't really talk to too many people, unless it's friends or somebody I know. Just because I don't have the time and, all that kind of stuff. But I'm always on the move. But, the third question was, what was it? I don't remember. But I've also had an instance where a knife was used with me and a buddy. I carried, this is also back when I was a kid. All my problems happened when I was a kid. Seem to be following me back now, unfortunately. But, me and my buddy, we were at a picnic. I think it was a picnic or something to do with 4th of July, I know that. And we were at a park. It was a pretty big park, too. And what happened was we went to the woods. There was other kids there. Several of them. I think there's about 7 or 8 of them. Cornered us and started trying to bother us. Now, I knew that we didn't stand much of a chance against all of them, So I looked at John, my buddy, at the time. And I look down at my pant pocket. I'm showing him, like, I got a knife there. And he gets real close to me. We're, like, shoulder to shoulder. I just, while they're talking, smack, I'm giving him one of my knives. Two of the guys had girlfriends with them. And I pulled my other knife. I extended, or I put the knife behind me, unfolded the knife. My buddy did the same thing. And the girls were like, oh no. Like, they didn't say that we had knives, but they were like, guys, leave him alone, all that kind of crap, and try to get him away. And after the fact, after they finally got him to stop, the guys couldn't figure out why they got him to stop, or why they wanted him to stop the fight. But once it happened, me and John, we kind of just, like, ran. We just ran out of there and back down out of the woods into the picnic area where the parents were and stuff like that. So we were never had the intention of actually using the knife. I know back then I didn't have the balls to even think of using the knife on somebody. But it was a way to bluff. And bluffing has gotten me out of a lot of serious situations. I have had knives put me before. I've been in the wrong neighborhood. I've been all sorts of places. Just wrong place, wrong time kind of things happened to me several times. And it's always come back to, the knife. Okay. I haven't had too many problems as I've gotten older. I've tried to avoid situations more. Back then you're a kid, and your reputation is like all you get, But not this particular knife, but a knife in general has saved me more times than I think any other tool or gun or anything out there. So, and then there was one time where I was younger and it was actually in my neighborhood when, and this just shows you how stupid kids can be, my buddy, two of my buddies, and my sister and me were walking down the street, okay? There's these 2 or 3 guys outside, of a house, and they're fighting, okay? They're arguing about something. We keep walking, and it gets louder and louder and louder, okay? And I would never do this now, okay? And I'm not like this at all now, but when I was younger, I was stupid and very prideful and wanted to be the cool guy. And I think a lot of people, when you're 14, 15, 16, you're like that, You just want to be the cool cat. So, I got the balls to go like, he's got a gun! Right? I say it. Suddenly it gets quiet. My buddy Matt's like, Tom, shut the fuck up. And I was like, then once he said that, to me, I had to be like, no, F you, I don't listen to nobody, no one's going to tell me what to do. And I'll go, he's got a gun! And I say it louder. All of a sudden, this is not even like a minute later, I hear a guy yelling. Right around the turn, because there was a turn that we were going past with all the trees and stuff, I see this guy, this black guy, huge, muscles and shit, do-rag and everything, and a big object in his hand that resembled either a knife or a gun. It was nighttime. It was probably about 9 or 10 o'clock at night. My ass was running. I think I ran past everybody else, I'm just like, ah! And me and my buddies, we joke about this to this day, because I'm just going to use this iPod because I don't have a phone, but I used to have a cell phone. And I was on my little Virgin Mobile prepaid phone call 911. I went, he's got a gun! He's got a gun! Can I help you? He's got a gun! He's got a gun! And then they're just like, where are you? Where are you? I'm just like, trace this fucking number! He's got a gun! He's got a gun! And I was the biggest bitch. And, I stopped, turned back, and everybody was still behind, running. So, I just said, fuck it. they're coming. I'm going. And I get to these people's backyard and then cut through. They're following me. I see them. I just go up on the first random door, start hitting it as hard as I possibly can. Alright, this old Indian guy comes out there, barely speaks a lick of English, okay? And I'm like, he's got a gun, he's got a gun, he's got a gun, you know? And so he's like, okay. Like, he just brushed it off, and he just, you know, brought us in. And the guy came up and called us like, hey, you! And all of a sudden there was like an awkward pause, like he was seeing like a comedy or something like that. We just like turned around, looked at him, and he looked at us. Nothing was said. I'm like, all right, Danny, get the fuck inside the house. So I pushed him in there. I pushed my sister in there. My other buddy, who told me to shut up, he was left behind. Now this is really bad because, you know, you don't know what happened, and now it's my fault. You know, if something happened to him, it's my fault. And so this is the serious part. But so there's old Indian lady, her husband, the old guy, let us in, and there's, I guess, their daughter and her kid, and I'm just like, everybody get down, call 911. So eventually, 911, I get the location, and they're coming out. As they are, I guess I was so freaked out and scared, that I became annoying. I got their kid, the grandson, whatever, crying and all that kind of stuff, and so they kicked me out of the house. The cop said no, keep him in the house, and he's just like, no, I'll get the hell out of my house because, you know, you're being loud and stuff. I've seen a lot of movies, okay, and when you're young and all that shit's going on, you see all these movies and stuff. You know, you see the window and, oh my God, you got to duck behind the, you know, cabinet, and you got to block up the windows and all that stuff. I'm like freaking out trying to make sure that nobody can see inside the house. And so he kicks us out of the house, and I'm like, shit. So now we're back out on the street. But the guy never came back. My other buddy called up. Nothing happened to him. The guy asked where I lived. and my buddy Matt, he's like, no, I'm not telling you that. And so I was surprised that he was okay. You know, I don't know what he had on him, but it resembled a weapon of some sort, and I knew he was going to do me harm. And then my buddy Matt's telling me, you know, dude, that's a crack house. And I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, dude, that's, you know, one of the places that they eventually did bust into. But at the time, it was a crack house, and I was like, oh, shit. Now, I live in a really nice neighborhood. I really do. You know, it's just that, I don't know if you guys are aware, but you have, like, nice neighborhoods where just random people start moving in, and then you got problems. So it's just like that. So my dad came, picked up my sister, looked at me, just shook his head. He was pissed off, man. I was like, can I get a ride too? He's like, no. He gives me and my buddy Danny a screwdriver as a weapon if he comes back, and I'm just like, great, you know, this guy looked like he had a gun on him for real. And what the hell's a screwdriver going to do? You know, I mean, if I get closer, I can stick him with it, but wasn't the brightest move on my part. It'll stay with me forever. And sometimes when I'm hanging out with my buddies, they'll be like, he's got a gun, you know, just joking with me. Man, the shit you do when you're young, I'm telling you. Would never dream of doing anything like that now. But just thought I'd share that with you. So that's about it. I think I've spiced it up with that story, I think. So don't judge me too harshly for my stupidity. I was young, I was stupid, just like everybody else, right? Well, thanks for watching. Congratulations to Dafarnakis on his 50 subs. I see that you actually got like 21, 22 more subs now, so keep up the good work, man. Wishing you all the best. Piedmont 89 out.